Welcome back to another Technically Speaking live show. Boy,
I feel like we're out of touch a minute.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this show, this one's gonna come in rough. Understatement of the century. Scott and I are just coming off of a long 2-week.
Yeah,
I would call it a vacation, but it's not exactly what you would call relaxing. I tweeted about it a little bit on the tweet machine.
166,000. As a matter of fact, let me just give you the exact statistics.
This is what you got. I mean,
I am a numbers person,
Yeah.
so I wanted to know.
Yeah.
We did 169,886 steps, or 79.89 miles.
I know, right?
79.89 miles walked.
We did this in 13 days across 7 different parks. I actually had about 82 miles worth of walk distance, but yeah,
I didn't count the last
you,
travel.
It was a workout,
It was
to
hard.
say the least, but it was fun.
My legs look fantastic.
Yeah, they do.
Thick, looking thick.
Oh man,
Looking like a snack. Big body Cadillac snack.
That's a full meal.
Snack. I'm full meal snack.
And tan.
Oh, I'm looking shiny. I'm so shiny. See Disney? Anybody?
Lots of Disney love.
Anybody?
Yeah, so this is the Technically Speaking live show. Each week we come to you and talk about the latest happenings in tech, and we interview interesting people. My name is Greg, to my right on the upper end of mediocre.
Always.
Yeah.
It is the birthday boy.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up. Whatever you're going to say, just shut up. Just shut up. Rutherford B. Fun story from
Rutherford
the same town.
Fun story. I'm related to Rutherford B. Hayes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Get out.
Okay. Cool story, bro.
Cool story. I don't care about you. It's about me.
Yeah, clearly. Also, the anniversary of the launch of Sputnik 1, which I thought was very interesting. And Spaceship One, right? As
completed the second flight to win the...
I don't care
Sorry,
about that.
Express.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. It's my birthday. I don't care.
We're talking about things of cultural significance.
Yeah,
so
it's my
these
birthday.
things
Culture
apply.
and significance.
We are live from the 1% Studios.
1%
This week,
Studios.
we are talking about all things vacation related, a bunch of stuff that we missed, and here very shortly we'll be bringing on the one and only Mr. Ben Perlmeister.
We didn't start the fire. When the law was burning, when the wind was turning.
Is this just going to be your contribution to the show the whole
It's
time?
my birthday. I can do what I want. I can do what I want.
How's your vacation, man?
Technically, T, welcome to the show, my friend.
Oh, hey. What's going on, T? Good to have you. Appreciate you stopping by. Also, I know Miss Sheila is in the audience. We appreciate you stopping by as well. So first of all, I am sans laptop today, as some of you may have noticed.
And why? Why is that?
My brand new shiny MacBook Pro ain't working, and I don't rightly know why. So I'm taking comments from my phone. So if you see me staring at my phone, it's not because I'm rude. Well, it is because I'm rude, but also because I'm gonna try and read and respond to comments from my phone. So we'll see how well this works. So yeah, Mr. E-Root, welcome. So glad you could stop by.
So
how's vacation, man?
It was so
Look,
hot.
I feel you.
Okay. So I know that T is from Atlanta. I don't know. Maybe Atlanta's a little bit different, but when we were in Florida, we would wake up, the real feel would already be like 90 at 7:30 in the morning.
Fact.
And it felt like the humidity was like at least 113%. And by 1 o'clock, it was a real feel of 105.
Almost
At
every
least.
day.
Every day was
Almost
over
every
100.
day. Yeah.
Easily over 100.
Yeah. It was insane.
The afternoons were just awful.
So I feel like Florida is
it's awful.
approximately adjacent to the surface of the sun, because
It felt like it.
It was mind-blowingly
so
hot. Mind-blowingly
God.
hot. Whew.
Daniel, welcome to the show, my friend.
Yes.
So we actually, because of the show being, 1, on the day after we get back from vacation,
Sure.
and 2, on my birthday,
you can't
a wonderful day in
can't
history.
miss another day or another opportunity.
Normally we would have something to talk about, but Google decided to push the event back some days. Evidently because they wanted to invite me.
So, to be fair, you're talking about traditionally Google was holding this event on today, October 4th,
yep,
right?
like they did the last 2 years.
Of which nothing else of significance has ever happened on October 4th.
In
Again,
the last
other than
36 years.
yeah, other than the things that we've already mentioned, which happened in the past, the distant past, but nothing of importance whatsoever. But
Play this song, you're the piano man.
this year, Google decided to push it back to
Did I
October.
push it to red? Oh, I absolutely pushed it to red. We are -9 decibels, and I still made it
You
in
were
the
the
red.
loudest human being I have ever met. Yes, of course you managed to peg the microphone. Like, of course you would. So Google decided, and this was weeks ago. This is not new news by any stretch, but they decided a couple weeks ago to push it back to
The 9th.
the 9th, which works well for you.
It does, because I will be attending the Made by Google event. I will be in attendance.
Yes,
I
you
will
will be
be-
there physically.
I will be physically in the
the
studio
room,
thing.
the place,
Yeah,
with the people and the
with-
stuff
and the stuff
and the
and the thing.
yes, with
Where
the
people
chairs.
talk.
Yes,
It's-
gotcha.
Some call it
with you.
movies.
Yes.
That's called talkies. But this
The
is gonna be
talkies.
live.
The theater.
I will be on the theater. The theater. But I will be there for the Made by Google event on October 9th. I actually will be arriving in New York, like 9. How long's the flight? If I leave at 6 on
It's
7:20,
couple of hours tops.
7:20, 8:20 in the morning, something like that. On Monday.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody in the crowd that's going to be in New York, if I don't know if MKBHD or Casey are watching,
You know, all you guys
Because
that
you always
tune in
do.
regularly to this show. Of course.
I'll swing by the studio and say what's up.
Yeah, definitely.
But then on Tuesday I will actually be. I'm going to attempt to. I haven't told you this yet. You ready?
yeah.
I'm going to attempt a live stream from there.
Well then,
I don't know how I'm going to do that yet.
I mean, best of luck, my friend.
I'm a feeling that the internet's might be a little bit slow there.
I don't know, man. New York City
Oversaturation.
got that, but New York City, of all places, I would expect New York City to have like fairly high speed capacity bandwidth.
I'm sure that
in
there
and around.
is, but I mean,
Sure.
like, everyone will probably
Oh,
be
sure, yeah,
live
yeah.
streaming from there. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to capture B-roll and things
Yeah.
in and around all the things that are being announced, which I've made a video before, if you're watching, and talked about what I think is going to be announced. That video mostly been accurate so far. I haven't been way off.
Point of pride compared to some other big YouTubers that are out there that are calling for some obscene things like bezel-less pixels and
Just gonna
mini
go there, huh?
pixels. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're going
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah,
saucy
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
You're real saucy. Don't.
I may have started drinking at like 11 a.m. Maybe noon. 11:30 noon. No, it's 12:30. I waited until afternoon because I am a professional.
We'll go with that. So there's some things that I made in the video specifically that
Yeah.
said like, hey, I think this is most likely. This is probably what's going to happen. So far, I haven't been completely off. As a matter of fact, the Chromecast thing from Best Buy.
Yeah. I think
Best
that's
Buy's-
a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, Best Buy started selling brand new Chromcasts. Like
Whoopsie. And that's not the first time they've been caught doing that too.
new generation. Like, oh, that's Gen 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
like oops, I brand new Gen 3. Let's
Yeah.
start to sell it. Said that was going to happen. Now, granted, it's like none of the stuff that I'm saying is like really earth shattering.
Yeah.
But it happened, so I'm right.
Well, I still
On my birthday, happy birthday to you.
and we're all horrified. Now.
Happy
I don't think that there's going to
birthday
really be anything
to
from the Google
you.
event that's going to be super surprising.
Happy birthday,
Do you?
Mr. President. No, I don't think there is either.
I didn't know if I was going to have to
Happy
carry the show for a little bit. I would love nothing more than to hear a Pixel Watch announced. But I
I'm
know
telling
that
you,
that's
it's not going to
coming.
happen.
No,
They
I know
came
that it's
out
not.
and said it.
I know that it's not going to happen.
How about
I'm
the
saying
fact
I
that
would love
LG
for
comes
it to
out and makes the
happen.
ugliest watch I've ever seen?
Oh,
What are you
dude.
doing, LG? You put physical hands on a watch with the
Well, I'm sorry. What were you
with
going
the
to say?
English words in the English in the
That was
words.
close. That was close.
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything.
So there, if you haven't seen it yet, there's a couple
physically
of screenshots
horrible
of,
watch.
a watch out there. It's a nice looking from the outside, nice looking smartwatch, but it's got physical hands on it. So when you're reading messages and stuff that come in, the watch hands are blocking the messages that you're trying to read.
It is the LG Watch W7.
LG Watch W7. That's a great marketing term.
That's
So
brilliant.
it's the LG W7.
Okay, look. Huge fan of the LG Sport Watch before. It
dope
was a
watch.
dope watch.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have to rescue it because it's stuck in a perpetual boot loop.
Are you?
So I'm going to
do that?
I just haven't done it yet. We've been on vacation, Greg. I don't know if you know this. We've been a little out of pocket.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. We've been in the land of the mouse. So we've not been available for me to do these
that's
things.
That's fair.
So yeah, they made a horrible looking watch though, which I'm sure we'll dig into in a little bit. So full disclosure, everyone. There are no show notes. If you follow my Instagram, there are no show notes.
He showed you the show notes that we have. On
We
Instagram.
didn't prep because we were busy.
We literally we got in yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday afternoon.
And I went to work today.
Yeah.
And
I was. You were.
not.
It was a work function, but we didn't work. It was a team outing. So
I had to go be an adult.
I was adult too. I waited until after 12:30 to drink. So that is very clearly well within the confines of what constitutes an adult. Like it's there, written in black and white, clearly. Just because you have to be all
keep talking. That's fine. I'm waiting. Go ahead.
I'll keep going. Just because, all I'm hearing is a bunch of excuses.
Just because,
why.
What's that?
Yeah, that's because you.
Happy birthday. Do we want to bring? Okay, so anyway, long story short, we're gonna be all over the page today. Normally, our live shows aren't like this. So if you're one person who might be watching, that's watched a total of half of one of our shows, and we've done.
You're calling them out.
I am calling them out. If you watched one of our shows where we had a bit of a technical difficulty, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that was, if anybody watched the rest of those shows, we're not like that. Normally, we're quite well put together. We've done 42 live... No, let me go. Can I finish? We've done 42 live shows where we've actually put together and done a wonderful job. Ben, I can't hear you. I've been on silent over here and he's got my headphones in. But our show is significantly better than most. Now, there are some shows that are just fantastic, and I love watching them.
Yeah.
One of them is actually, I watch Viper's show. I think what Viper does is great. He has some structure. He has some structure, but not a lot of structure, and he just kind of lets people come in and out. I like that. So today, because we were so busy but wanted to go live, we're going to just do it live.
I was like, I have literally no
Bill
idea.
O'Reilly. And see where this goes. I don't have any idea where it's going to go. We're going to talk about a lot of Google content. We're going to talk about vacation. We're going to talk about whatever comes up. There's 2 people over here in our live studio audience that are going to be pumping us stuff.
Yeah.
Pumping us stuff. I'm going to break into
the international symbol for pump me content. That's what this is. Right.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest, and we'll bring him online so that we can keep this train wreck moving.
Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only, one of our most favorite employees. Almost said employees. What?
One of the longest time friends we've had for this channel. Somebody who has been with us from the get-go.
Oh yeah,
somebody who has actually not donated to the cause, but has
literally donated. Yeah,
his physical hardware for us to review and check out. The one and only.
Number 16 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, Shane Falco. Hang on, let me go over. God, it's such a dumpster fire today.
I'm gonna let you hang on that.
Oh God, it's so bad. Ben!
We have Mr. Ben himself.
Ben, you're live. Ben.
How's it going, buddy?
Hi, Ben.
Tango El Gato Los Pantalones.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact,
I also love cheese as well. That is a favorite.
Yes, me too.
I have some
Delicious.
queso.
Yes, indeed. So what's going on, Ben? We have also been out of contact with you for the last couple of weeks, so thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I love how we actually did our test call at
8 o'clock.
7:45.
No details.
Yeah. Everything worked out flawlessly though, just like just like you guys roll, man.
We literally pinged Ben and was like, "Hey, download Skype." Okay, cool, I got it.
And like everything in my being is going completely against that because I only run Google things. So I actually feel kind of destroyed inside a little bit for downloading that on my
Do you
Pixel
feel
book, but
dirty?
it's
Are
okay.
you gonna have to take a shower immediately after this?
I am. I'm gonna have to scrub and cry
Are you
in the shower.
currently streaming to us from your Pixel book?
Yes.
I don't know if you know this. There's a small being right beside you.
It's just the small one.
I'm scrubbing and crying in the shower.
Straight just calls you out. Why are you scrubbing and crying in the shower, Dad?
That's so funny.
It's a long story. You'll figure it out when you're older.
Remember all that therapy that you're gonna pay for? It'll start in the shower, kid.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I pay up until they're about 25 their therapy. I think that's a
I
good
feel like
trade-off
it's
for
fair.
just trying to do my
I hear
best.
you, man.
You're
I hear
such
you.
a great dad.
So, if you would do
Yeah.
me a favor, just give the good people out there in the audience, give them the rundown. Who are you? What do you do?
Who are you?
Yeah,
Why are you on my show?
Give them your socials, the whole works.
My name is Ben. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. You're talking about the surface of the sun. Florida's nothing,
Dude,
man.
it's
Come on.
a dry
Really.
heat.
It's a dry heat, though.
But it's a dry heat. That's my
Whatever.
favorite.
You say
saying
that.
ever.
You say that when you're
No,
here.
it's hot.
Okay? I'll tell
It's
you,
hot.
dry heat.
What do you have your
Look,
okay? You
I'll
have
take
a nest.
110 with minimal humidity. I will take that every time.
Okay.
I've been to Chandler. I've been to Phoenix, Mesa, Tempe, the whole
Yeah.
works.
What's your
Yeah.
nest set at right now?
Yeah. 84.
What? What's wrong with you?
Well, when you have the hours where it's least expensive and most expensive, from 3 to 6 is the most expensive. So we pre-cool the house to 3 o'clock, then we turn the thermostat off, and then the house naturally warms up to 6 o'clock, and then it
That's
drops
a man
back
who
down.
has a strategy for cooling his house. That is not something we have to care about in
Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
We don't
at all. No.
I have my thermostat perpetually set at
64.
No, 72.
I'm surprised it's that high.
That would cost
Yeah.
that would cost like $1,000 a month here in the summer
Are you
to do it like
serious?
that. No, but seriously.
So real talk. My first house, before I moved into this house, I think we had an air conditioner that was too small for the house, but we would set the air conditioner at what we thought was a reasonable level. Again, this was my first house, and then like a month later, we would get an electricity bill for like $500 or $600, and we did that a couple times, and then went, we'll sweat. It's fine. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, no. Ben, you are literally Captain Google.
Yeah.
You are one of the most decorated Google TCs, I believe, in the history of the program.
Oh,
I'm dead serious.
That's
Like
deadly serious.
you are captain, top contributor. So why do you do it? Tell the people why they should do something like the Google Top Contributors.
Well, it's all about helping people, man. That's what it's about. You get out there, if you have knowledge, then why not share it? Why keep it all to yourself? When there's tons of people out there that need help with whatever it is, any product. I was always just like, probably you guys were the same thing growing up. You were just technical support for your family. And so I was technical support for my family, and then found out about the program, and I was like, this is amazing. Be able to help out people. You get a little bit of some Google Insider info, but really it's just about helping people out and trying to get people through some difficulties that they're having. So that's what it's about.
I hear you, man. Can you talk a little bit of like what programs are you a part of the TC program with? Do you support primarily like Pixel phones or?
Yeah, I do. I cut back. I was at almost 10 or 11.
Captain
and
Google, right there. That was my point.
It was a little too much, so
don't
then I
say.
cut back. So now I'm only doing Pixel, Nexus, Chromebook, Pixelbook, Wear OS, Chromebook, Clips.
That's it. Just seven.
Just seven.
Just
Just seven.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a lot higher. I used to do Chrome and Photos and Android Auto. Yeah, but then I cut those and Google Play. So I cut those out.
That's incredible. I'm trying to figure out when you have time for eating and sleeping as well, because
he doesn't do that. The man's a machine.
Has to be. I know people that have participated in the TC program for Nexus, and the amount of time and effort and energy they put into answering questions. I couldn't imagine doing it for just one more product, let alone 6 others like that. So I mean, kudos to you for really looking out for the Google community and just trying to put yourself out there to help people. That's fantastic.
Well, that's like I said, it's just about sharing my knowledge with people. If they're having problems, I'll get them pointed in the direction they want to go. I'm more of a teach a person to fish instead of giving them a fish type of thing. So I give them the info and then let them figure it out.
Now, this is really, really important. Are you ready?
God, I can't wait for
Did
this.
you know that it was my birthday?
Look, did you hear the sigh? Did you hear the sigh? Even he's like, oh my God.
Figured
out a way to wedge it into. This is supposed to be an interview for Ben. You still figured it away.
I don't think I did. I only texted you and
did.
tweeted you.
I appreciate you.
So
Hugs.
I did. So yeah.
Hearts. Hi.
What's up, girlfriend?
So, how long have you been involved in doing TC related stuff?
Since just gosh, it must have been like July 2015.
Wow. Okay, so you've been doing it for quite a while then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just been over. Yeah, July was 3 years.
Interesting. Do you have a favorite product that you support so far? Is there any one that really just kind of amps you up, that kind of keeps you involved the most?
It just depends on. I'm a hardware person, like Scotty is there. So I like the hardware. I got to get my hands on it. Like the phones and the tablets and the Pixel books and the watches and all that good stuff. It's getting my hands on the stuff is what makes it exciting, and to be able to take that knowledge and help out other people that are having issues and problems with what they're having. So I don't really stick to one. It really changes and it adjusts depending on the time. Like right now, blowing up really big on Wear OS. So just being what's coming up with that, the new updates and all that good stuff has just been awesome lately. And then we know what's happening next week.
I
So.
hear there's some type of event.
Something happening.
Yeah, I think it's Scott's birthday. That's next week, right?
Happy birthday.
That's now, I think, 3 or 4 times that I've done that. But I didn't. What I haven't done is Tinder Chris like a cheddar.
What'd you say?
No, you're right. You have not done that one yet.
Oh, hang on. Ben's literally multitasking as we speak.
He's
Ben,
trying to conduct an interview.
This is what you know what it is being a
Oh,
dad.
brother.
You know what it is being a dad.
You did her hair
All
while
right.
you were answering questions about like, oh yeah, Google TC, da 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 da. You literally put her hair in a ponytail.
Well, yeah, of course. That's what I do. And then the oldest, I do a French braid.
No,
That's
you
talent.
don't. You do French braid?
French.
Yeah,
look,
totally.
Yeah. As
Here.
a
Here.
father to a daughter.
Come here.
Uh,
Live French braid. Live
That's
French
impressive.
braid. Let's do it right now.
He's gonna live French
Grab a hair
braid.
tie.
live.
Grab a hair
Grab
tie.
the hair tie.
Grab me a hair
Don't
tie.
make me get the
Grab the hair
hose.
tie. You just get the hose again.
The lotion goes on the
Hair tie.
skin.
Oh,
I'll even do yours.
that's quality.
I want a French braid.
Try.
Look, I'm sweating. Your basement is so hot.
Oh, cry about it.
No, I'm merely just showing off my tan.
Wear a t-shirt. Do that too.
We didn't
Instead of
start the
Instead of trying
fire.
to look all professional, trying to out professional me, get a t-shirt.
Look, it's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh God. So, do you have? We know that there's an event that's coming up, a particular event next week, something involving Google, as Mr. Scott already said. Like, what things are you looking forward to coming out of that event? Like, is there anything in particular that you're like, yeah, that's the one I've got my eye on? I mean, I feel like the most obvious answer is the Pixel 3.
Well, I mean, it has to be, right? You're muted, Ben.
Womp womp.
Wow. I think there's a bunch of things going on there. So you got the phones going on, right? So one or multiple. Then the next thing you have is the Pixelbook Slate, and that has been something that has been leaked multiple times and just recently leaked with multiple variations, anything from a Celeron processor all the way to a Y7 processor with 16 gigs of RAM. So that's going to be pretty interesting when it comes down to it, if that's going to be their detachable.
So I'm a hardware guy myself, and when you start talking about, like, especially the specs that some of these things have, that's where I start to really kind of perk my ears up. Like, if you're talking about a slate that has a Celeron processor in it, I mean, that's impressive. Like, that's a desktop grade processor. Okay, I mean, that's neat.
Totally.
But if you're talking about cramming an i7 16 gigs of RAM, you're talking about cramming the power of a MacBook Pro basically into a slate form factor. That's a monster.
Pretty much.
Oh, we get back. We get
Absolute monster.
There.
Look at that.
There you go. There's your braid right there.
Like
He
a
literally did that
professional.
while he was talking about processors.
Look,
You French braided while you were talking about
Look,
processors.
let me be real. I don't know that I could put my daughter's hair in just a basic ponytail and talk about hardware at the same time. I don't think I could. So, my hat's off to you, sir.
You want it out?
You are truly a professional.
So
My thing is about putting the,
So the-
all that hardware goes
Yeah.
back to your point. All that hardware with, if I could use Adobe Premiere
Yeah.
on a Pixelbook, I would do it, but I can't.
Yeah.
So the thing that I want to use, like, I don't even want to use Adobe Premiere because I just don't.
Yeah.
I like using.
Da Vinci. That's what you
Yeah, right. Final Cut Pro. I use Final Cut Pro because it does exactly what I need it to do.
Sure.
But if I could use like an Adobe Premiere, like I have tweeted at Adobe, dear Adobe, let me be a part of your beta program to test and make content on something not a MacBook.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Let me
Right.
do it. They don't let me do it.
Nope.
Well, the thing that you have now, where before you used to have, where you could not necessarily dual boot, but you do Crouton
Yep.
for Linux, right?
Yeah.
That's,
I'm hungry.
yeah. So, anyways, there's that, but now you have it to where you now have Linux on, right now, you have Linux on beta channel and dev channel, where those Linux apps run in the Pixelbook environment. It's a secure Pixelbook environment. So all you do is apt-get whatever you want, and you can get whatever you want. GIMP, you can get, so if anything that comes with Linux, guess what? You now got it. The only thing that haven't come supported yet, which is supposed to come out, I believe, in 71 or 72, that's Chrome, is going to be USB support.
Which is surprising that USB support has taken this long to get there. But I
Yeah.
think it's fantastic that Google is also leaning into, that much firepower, that much horsepower underneath the hood. Yeah, you can access it via
Yes.
Chrome, but also kind of giving those that are a little more technically savvy, giving them, not the keys to the kingdom, but at least giving them privileged access to behind the scenes to be able to get to that hardware to use it for something like Linux-based. I mean, I'm a Linux guy, so to me that's an important consideration, but that doesn't apply to most people,
No,
which I
that's like
totally
huge.
get.
That doesn't, like, I can do it. I don't like doing it. Greg
Yeah.
knows this. I've done it. I've done it in
Yeah.
front of Greg. Pause. And I don't like having to go into
Yours is
Crouton
out of
and do all
necessity.
Mine was out of necessity. Now, like,
That right there was awkward. Go
was
ahead.
it? Pause. Awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Nailed
Yeah,
it. Nailed it.
Yeah, it was
But
awkward.
the point is, I don't think the average consumer is definitely not going to do that. So, like, if
Yeah.
I had to choose between a MacBook Pro and something else, I know what I'm choosing. So they need, if you could get the creative group through a partnership with Adobe or something like that, you're talking about, I think a lot of people would switch. I know that I would heavily consider switching.
I would like
So-
to see.
So the
Go
other
ahead, Ben.
thing that, go ahead.
No, I was
Go ahead,
going to
Greg.
say,
No,
I would like
please.
to see for Google owning the Pixelbook line, for Google owning the Pixel phones, for Google basically having their hands really close to the pot in terms of hardware on one side. On the other side, also having the platform, like the premier platform that you publish content to. I really wish that Google would lean into that idea of content creation and provide some of those tools on their platforms to kind of incentivize those content creators to want to be in the Google environment. Right now, there's not really a good reason to be on Google hardware, even if you are a full-time YouTuber. I mean, look at the MKBHDs of the world that are still diehard Final Cut fans. So, and that's something that, I mean, Apple basically gets free publicity out of that. Like, that to me, that just seems like an obvious miss for them. So like, I wish they would lean into that.
I don't know if it's a miss. It's just it's a missed opportunity.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a missed opportunity for sure.
But maybe it's a little. I'm guessing here. Maybe it's a little bit harder to go after the creatives. I know for sure that.
Oh, it is. It's got to be hard to go after the creatives.
Like I would for sure. Like if they said, "Hey, teamed up with Adobe, want you to try this Pixelbook, create content." I would take the learning curve of Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but it's definitely not Final Cut, so I have to relearn all the shortcuts and all whatever. But if I had the horsepower that I knew that I could do everything that I'm doing today, on like I am running our live show on this MacBook Pro, my fully functional MacBook Pro, but I don't necessarily know if I could do that on a Pixelbook. But if they told me how to do it, the horsepower is there. If I knew how to do that, I would do it. Would be no question.
Yeah.
I would actually buy two. One would be strictly a live machine.
Yep.
And the other one would be the one that I towed around. But
what's funny is you could buy two for the price.
One price of my MacBook.
Easily.
And I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So there's a few different things you guys discussed there. First thing is the Linux, and I don't think that it's meant for the regular people, and that's not why they put it in there. I think it's for the people that are the developers that want to be able to create Android apps and write Android apps and Chrome apps and things like that. And the, I don't remember what the Chrome web apps, or the PWAs. So be able to write those and not being able to have to buy one of those machines, because you can go through in Linux, apt-get Android Studio, and now you have Android Studio running in a secure environment on a Chromebook, and you can have a browser right next to it going. Again, USB support coming in the future, but that's what I think it's for. I don't think it's for the ordinary person. Now, the whole thing with the content creation, Scott, we've talked at length about this stuff when it comes, that's just come through, and I've talked to the people that I know, the community managers and everybody else, talking about, hey, how can we get this stuff? And they just keep telling me, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And some of that stuff is, Scott, did you sign up for that Adobe? I thought I sent that link to you that talked about Adobe to be able to run it from a Chrome browser.
I haven't heard anything from that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's the thing is, it's like, I haven't heard anything from the Adobe side. I don't think, that's not a Google problem. I don't think Adobe's ready for that. I definitely signed up for it, though. Yeah.
Right.
Because I want to know.
Yeah. When I saw that, I sent it directly
I definitely want to know what that's going to be, because... Okay, so now if you're telling me I have, they figured out some magical way to run Adobe Premiere in a Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah, that's a
huge deal.
Well, have you seen, I don't know if you're talking about it later, but have you seen Project Stream?
So that's so funny that you're going to mention that. Yeah.
Dang.
So Project Stream, for anybody in the comment section that is not aware of what's going on here, one of the big announcements that was just made is the ability to run a AAA gaming title. AAA. Like, this is the newest game in the Assassin's Creed series called Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah,
no,
Origins.
I think it's Odyssey. It's the
Origins.
Is it Origin?
Is it Odyssey? Okay.
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's,
so it's the latest game in the Assassin's Creed series from within a browser. That is
Bananas.
insane to me. Like, you figure for again, it's kind of hard to translate this for the average person to understand how big of a technical feat that is. Like, usually you would have to go and you buy the game and then you download, you either install from disk if you still happen to have a CD player, whatever, or you're downloading from like Steam or something along those lines. You're talking about tens of gigabytes worth of download, and Google is working on a Project Stream, where you can stream the game in real time and play it from within a web browser. No install required, or minimal install required.
And all you need is 25 megabytes down. That's insane.
How is that possible?
That's insane.
Look, the black magic of the internet.
And that's a game at, I believe it's either 1080p at 60 frames per second or it's 4K at 20 frames per second.
If they're
60
even
frames per
able to
second. I
do
can't remember which
1080p
one.
at 60 frames a second, that is a massive technical feat. I'm very interested in checking out. I'm super interested in seeing like what the latency is
Let
and
me
all that kind of
see.
stuff. But that is
It's 1080p. I'm watching the video right now. It's 1080p at 60
that
frames per
is
second.
it's
Insane. From 25 down?
yeah.
What?
I mean, for the average consumer that's out there, like the practical impact for you is, whether or not you keep up to date on video games or not. The big movement in the industry right now is a lot of developers are talking about like what is going to be the future of the console wars. Right now, it's basically Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in a distant third place. Though Nintendo's almost kind of created its own market unto itself, which kudos to them for. But it's Nintendo, and then it's Microsoft versus Sony. In the next generation of consoles, people are saying that, why even bother having all this hardware under the hood? Why not just have a system that is just basic enough to be able to stream all these games and stuff from the internet? I'm very skeptical of that. I mean, there's a lot of us that are out there that have capped or bandwidth monitored internet connections or connections that are not quite stable enough to be able to support that. But the technology is there. It's been around for a while. It's very interesting. And I strongly believe you're going to see more and more experiments with streaming content like this. So I personally think that this Project Stream is... this is just another, kind of move in that direction of experimenting with how these streaming technologies could work. And if it works well, you're going to see more.
Could you imagine, you downloaded 14 terabytes last month.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Like that you start to run into a legit, okay, now we need to talk about capacity.
Well, I mean, this is the whole net neutrality argument right there.
Yeah. Because at that point,
Well, Scott, what the internet is...
it's a series of tubes! It's a series of tubes!
Yeah, it's tubes with stuff going through the tubes really fast. So anyways, I mean, if they can do that, how can they not go through and be able to do these other things through a browser where you can run this stuff? So I just think it's just a matter of time. And when that new... when the new slate comes out, if it's looking good, I'll sell you the Pixelbook. Cheap.
For real?
Yeah. Because we're listening.
Got you
because...
For real?
You think about that.
Maybe Greg needs it because he doesn't have a functional MacBook right now.
It's a fair statement. Hey, let me...
Hey, Greg, you want an upgrade?
Shots fired!
Wow!
Shots fired for sure. Hey, let me get back to some of these comments. We've got a ton of comments out there, and we've been just neck deep in great conversation. But I got to get back to them. Mr. E-Root says, "Happy birthday, Peaches." Jason also says hello, amongst other things. He says he's still waiting for his Pixel 3 XL free for your birthday gift to him. I feel like he's going to be waiting for a while.
Yeah. Wait by that mailbox. It'll show up one day.
Technically, T, we already said hey, but hey, much love. Thank you so much for stopping by. Daniel Baldry, from the Down Under.
And he says that it's really, really hot down there. He said he's from Queensland. Queensland.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe he said he was from Queensland. He goes, it's just hot and humid all the time there. But it's Australia.
Yeah.
So much better than Florida, I assure you.
Yeah.
You guys have kangaroos.
And a whole bunch of other things that just want you to not live there. Snakes and spiders and all sorts of other
tarantulas.
stuff. Yeah, all of those things. Let's see. Mr. Andrew Hatchett. I like this show. It's seeing the real you. Boy, you're getting a dose of the real today, let me tell you.
That is far from true, my friend.
John Thomas, hey everyone, so glad you could stop by. Also, the Everyday Dad is here. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Everyday Dad.
We love you, man.
We'll come back to the Everyday Dad because I have a special announcement for that one.
For sure. You're pretty much sure what it's already going to be about because it's about a thing, and we've got some ideas. So we're going to talk to you about that here in a little bit. Miss Sheila, of course, is here, and Tech for your needs. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So going to pivot a little bit, go to the Everyday Dad. Right before we went on vacation, a random little gift showed up in the mail.
It did indeed.
And it was a GoPro from the Everyday Dad because I made a comment on the live show once that said, If you send a GoPro, I will get in the freezer. Remember when I did my Frozone impression?
Yeah. And how cold is that again?
It was 181 degrees below zero. Negative. 181. I think that's what it was. Was it?
Fahrenheit.
Was it?
I don't
It
believe
was
it.
really cold. It was the opposite of Florida.
Yeah.
By a lot.
By
Anyway,
a whole lot.
I said that I would get in there and I would basically film like a small commercial for his channel, basically where I'm standing in this freezer, freezing,
Yeah.
going like, "You should watch the Everyday Dad because it's, like." I would come up with something
Because he's cool.
right. Because there we go.
Because
he's really cool. And so he sent me the GoPro, and now I have to do it.
There you go.
So here's
he called your bluff. That's what happened.
Yeah,
He
so
called your
here's
bluff.
what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to obviously film something for the Everyday Dad and his channel just to say, hey, here's a quick promo from your friends at Technically Speaking, if you want to use it, about using your GoPro, talking about how awesome your channel is while I'm standing in a freezer at negative 181. But I'm also going to do that for a couple other YouTubers. But I haven't figured out which ones yet. So, if there are other YouTubers in the comment section right now, and you want me to do like a... What?
Hey, Scott. You're cold as ice.
Willing to sacrifice our love.
Hey, Devin Waters wants to know whether or not it's okay to promote communism here.
That was a
Anyway.
comment that we just got?
That's
Really?
yeah.
For real?
Hey guys, is it okay to promote communism here? Question mark. So anyway, cold.
It was really, really
GoPros.
cold.
It is
really, really cold. So what I'm going to do is, if there are other YouTubers that are here in the comments section, please go right ahead and leave a comment that you would like to have anywhere between a 5 and 10 second promo about your channel, and I will write whatever it is, or if you have something that you specifically want me to say, tell me, and I will say it while I'm in a deep freeze. And I will edit that content, and I will send it to you via Google Drive, and you can use it in your videos.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah,
I
I said I would do it. I said I would do it. At least I'm man enough to get
I got
in
some
the freezer.
ideas, man. I don't even have a YouTube channel, but that sounds amazing.
I am pretty hot for being cold.
You know better than to challenge me because you know that I'll do it.
I know.
You know
I know
that
this.
I have no problems with this.
I know this.
The last time that you tried to call my bluff, I ate 2 cheeseburgers.
And you made $5, but you ended up losing like $1.49.
I did, but I ate 2 cheeseburgers.
You did.
So you, sir, can just step off. You can back up before something bad happens.
You're gonna back up.
Yeah.
Something bad happens to you.
Yeah.
Too late.
Anyway,
You're gonna go with that? You're gonna call me out and be like, anyway.
pretty much.
You're
I already know that.
cold. You're a cold-hearted
Exactly.
snake.
So yeah, the Project Stream stuff, to get back to that, I think is super interesting. And I was talking to Scott about this while we were on vacation. This might be the opportunity for Google to step in and kind of participate in the console wars without ever having to develop any hardware whatsoever, which could be an amazing market for them to jump into because, I mean, they don't, Microsoft has web browsers and they have OSs and they technically have hardware, but Google is, they're stepping into the hardware sector. They have the OS stuff, they have mobile. They don't really have a presence in the console war, so they're not really tapping into kind of younger generations or anything like that, which is also an area that Apple's suggested that they're struggling with as well too. They do the big pickup in like the late high school, college years, because anybody who goes off to do any type of creative work almost by default picks up a Mac. So I think I think it would be an interesting opportunity for Google. I'm really, really interested to see how Project Stream works out. I will probably sign up for, if not the beta, but buy Assassin's Creed Odyssey just to be able to check out. Because I'm that interested.
I don't think the websites. I just checked it. It's not working.
Do you
anymore.
think that will be announced on October 9th?
No,
No.
it's not. It's not a big enough deal. It's an interesting experiment, but I don't think it's going to be an out and out, product that they're going to release or anything like that.
Okay. on October 9th, Ben, give me like long shot, Hail Mary, some type of surprise that you want or think would happen. Long shot, throw me deep, Hail Mary.
I think
From downtown.
you running up on stage, taking your shirt off, and having a big G written on it.
That's
Your daughter just goes,
so what? That's a pretty long shot.
That would be like my wish. I'd be like, I know that dude.
Could you imagine you
Sundar
elbow?
going? I was gonna say, I want to see you elbow Sundar off stage and be like, yeah, technically speaking,
Okay,
8 p.m.
okay,
Thursday,
Wait,
check
Sundar.
this out.
Hey,
You guys ready?
Hey, Sundar.
I'm gonna let you finish. Sundar, you're one of the greatest CEOs of all time. I'm gonna let you finish, but look at this G.
Oh
No.
God.
Do you think I can get a selfie with Sundar?
I would love to do that. That'd be awesome.
You think
I
I
think
can?
you can.
Challenge accepted.
really
Yeah,
funny.
I think you do that.
Challenge accepted.
I would love to see that. Yeah, see if you can do it.
So hardware-wise, I think most of the stuff we've already seen. I'm guessing most of the stuff we've seen. The biggest things are going to be software. I mean, just think about during the last announcement with the making the calls
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
Whatever that
There
was.
was a
I don't remember what
big
that was called.
push
So
for
I'm sure
AI.
there's going to be, another level of that, another level of assistant. But it seems like with hardware-wise, it seems like you're going to have different things for that Pixelbook slate. Looks like there's going to be obviously a Chromecast. Looks like there's obviously going to be a XL and a regular size. Those are kind of obvious. There's also going to be that home hub or that display. That looks pretty straightforward. That's a lot of hardware to be able to do that. So if there's something else, it'll be something like a Clips, something that they've been working on that they haven't really announced type yet. But I think it's going to be a lot of software.
Only because I know you, is the notch a big deal?
Please,
It's
no.
a dumb story.
It's the stupidest. It's the stupidest thing that people worry about. It is so ridiculous. If you saw I don't remember who did it, but if you take the 2XL and you overlay the 3XL, the renders on top of it, the notch is approximately the same exact size. So you actually get more screen real estate on either side. It's stupid. People have to complain about something. And that's what they choose to die upon. But no, it is ridiculous. If you don't like it,
I
don't
had a
buy it.
conversation today, just before coming here for the live show, with somebody who is a ardent Google supporter.
Okay. I would like to meet that person.
Yeah, I can introduce you.
Okay.
Good guy. Very technical, but has Pixel 2 XL.
Speaking.
Not a fan of the Pixel 3, does not like the notch, but his argument is purely from he feels that having the front-facing stereo speakers is a much bigger deal than what a lot of people give credit for. Like, that is his hill to die on. And so the idea that, like, not having a notch or something along those lines that might take away that front-firing speaker is a bigger deal for him.
I think it's a huge deal. I think people vastly underestimate how big of a deal that is.
I mean, I'm torn because I don't often use the front-facing speakers. I use for speaker calls, like speakerphone calls, sure, but I don't ever care that it's stereo. But if I'm like watching a video or something, 9.5 times out of 10, like this whole vacation, I watched a ton of videos.
It needs to
But
be.
I watched them all via Bluetooth.
It needs to be pointed towards you.
Yeah.
That's the only way. Sound should go
That's
towards
my
you,
thing
not
is,
But I
away
like,
from
right
you.
always
here, look.
have headphones, so
Well, but
Yeah.
I agree that you always have headphones. But what about those times where you don't? And like for me, I very rarely, like when I get home, I very rarely have headphones in. So like the front firing speakers, if I'm holding my phone like this, like a normal person, because you don't ever take videos with a phone like this.
agreed.
Turn it over like this.
Yes,
And so if I immediately put my
like a normal person does.
if I immediately put my hand here, like people do to hold their phones, and the speakers are at the bottom, you're already lost. Already.
So again, this is where we get into for us especially, it becomes a challenge for me to kind of relate to the quote unquote average person, because so if I'm outside of the house and I have headphones and I need to watch a video, or I even want to watch a video, I watch it with headphones. If I don't have headphones, I wait until I get home. If I'm at home, I don't watch it on my phone. I have a myriad of other screens that are bigger than my phone.
I have 165-inch projection TV.
I got the
where you
1%
can watch whatever
studios
you
where I
want.
have a big screen. Why don't you come talk about my movie theater? Because my screen's so
I don't need to watch it on
big.
the small thing like a peasant. I get to watch it like
I
a
got
king.
time to watch this on a $1,000 device. I gotta go get my big screen.
Man, y'all are just feeding it to me raw tonight. Ouch. Murderous in here. But yeah, so I don't mess with screens that are less than.
Exactly.
I don't mess with screens that are less than 12. Otherwise, I'll have to never twice.
Right.
Exactly. Have to watch the video twice just to see the whole thing.
You're pushing that.
Riding that envelope.
Pushing the button.
You see that line?
We ride that
line.
right up against it.
Close.
So,
the line.
the front-facing speakers thing, I think is, I don't know. It's important, but I feel like I don't think it's make or break.
I think it's a big deal.
But I don't. Okay, but so this is part of the argument that we got. Conversation that we got into as far as there are features that are like make or break. If the phone doesn't have this, you're not
screen.
buying it straight up.
A
Well,
screen.
a crappy resolution screen. You know what I mean? Like if you got a screen that's 720, you're not buying it.
Well, not,
I'm paying
it depends.
$100 for it.
Right.
For premium tier phone is what I'm saying.
Okay, there you go.
For premium tier phones, if we're talking about this is Google's new phone that they just released and it's a 720p screen,
That would get them killed.
that's
like
done.
that, oh,
like
man.
that's game over from the get go. Even for your average consumer,
you have a
is going to
choice.
look at the
You
phone
want-
and be like, yeah, no.
Not for the price point.
Well, you have a choice. Do you want battery? Then it's
Yeah.
1080p. If you want resolution,
Yeah.
then it's 2K.
For sure.
Easy.
But so resolution is important to a lot of people. Battery life is important to a lot of people. Camera quality is important to a lot of people.
That's mine.
Which I agree. But I mean, even I would say the camera quality is the most important of the non like base screen resolution, battery life, stuff like that. That's so basic that if your phone doesn't have those, it's not even a product. It's just a joke. Camera quality is like the next most important outside of like the basics. If your phone doesn't have this, it's a non-starter. Camera quality, I would say, is probably the number one on that, followed by what? Probably storage capacity. I'll give you that one. But you get into that like tertiary market of
RAM.
Waterproofing.
I don't
or
care. Well, you know, I'm not
Squeeze
feeling
assistant, or
that was.
it's important. It's important.
So
But are
it's-
you not buying a phone
I
because
would not. I would not. I wouldn't. I would be like, oh my god, that squeeze feature doesn't have it. Not buying it.
And that's my thing. It's like, Ben, how do you feel about that? If you see something like non-front firing speakers, is that a non-starter for you, or is that fall into that? You know, it's a significant bummer, but I'm probably still going to pick it up.
See, there's so many of those little things that people just want to die over, and it's going to be those things like a headphone jack. We're in 2018. Move on. A notch. It's 2018. Do you want a bigger screen or not? Do you want all the real estate or not? It's your choice. How do you want to do this? The whole thing is they want all or nothing, and you got to make sacrifices somewhere. And the some of those sacrifices are going to be for that. Now you're going to have the manufacturers that give you absolutely everything, and that's great.
Samsung.
And they're named Samsung, and I will buy it.
Samsung. I mean,
Yeah.
quite honestly, like
I won't buy it.
Samsung.
Yeah, I mean, if you want them and LG, that new the 40 where it's got 5 cameras, go for it. Yeah, do it.
It's awful.
But I don't see those things as having, for me, as long as it has a really nice screen to look at, it's got a good battery, and it's fast.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like I've been running for the last 6 months. I've been on an LG G6.
Okay. Yeah. It's a great phone.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
And it's why not? It was something that I'm trying out.
Yeah.
Testing it out.
Okay. Why not an iPhone?
So that
Why not?
I'm sorry you disconnected there for a second. You want to try that again?
I'm sorry, you said something really dumb. You want to try that again?
I have an iPhone 10.
No, you don't. You don't.
Strike that
Your wife
person.
does.
No, I do.
Okay, that your wife is using.
No.
She
has
she has her own.
Yes.
Okay, you win this round. I did not know that. I thought she was using the one that you bought.
No. There's 2.
Yeah.
The one she's using and the one that is sitting on my desk downstairs.
You're even more dumb for not getting rid of that then, because that thing is just becoming... It's a paperweight. You don't ever use that thing.
I use it all the time.
For what?
I do camera comparisons between the Pixel and that.
Okay. That's not using it all the time. You use that all the time.
I use this this is
Yeah.
attached to me at all times. But I use the iPhone way more than you think.
This guy. I'll give you that. You might.
Anyway, so it doesn't. The only thing that I've noticed is a little bit of speed, and I really like I've realized I really like the fingerprint sensor on the
that's a
back.
big one for
But
me.
other than that, as long as you have some of those things there, some of these extra things, the squeeze feature, thought it was a horrible idea. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be terrible. Then when I had the Pixel 2, which I gave to my wife, it's awesome. I used it all the time. So some of the things are there. You're like, am I really going to use it? Is this, But Samsung just loads you up, or LG loads you up with anything and everything, and that's just too much. So I think I like the features that are added, that are well thought through, that are there for a reason and not just there just because.
So
I think front-facing speakers is a good thing. Would it be something that I wouldn't buy the phone just because of that? No. And honestly, also with storage, I've never been an issue with storage. I was able to run the 16 gig Nexus 4 with no problems without running out of storage.
you take a lot of pictures.
I run a 32 now, and it's not even I'm not even close. Everything's cloud. I never keep that much stuff
not
locally.
me. Like I have 128 gigs,
So
and I'll be
I just
60 all the time.
Not me. Not even close. I'm nowhere close.
See, not even
to filling
close.
up 128 gig. Not even
I'll
close.
get close to half.
so
Nope.
So I don't need to pay. I mean, some of the things when I look for the phone, I don't need. I can go with the baseline, and even nowadays with the 32 and 64, I won't even get close. I won't even get a third of that.
I'm getting
going through the
anxiety
thing that I
just
have.
thinking about the fact that you would only have 32 gigs. I'm like, I don't know what I would do. Because like I can take a 4K video that'll be 5, 6, 7 gigs at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And I won't even think about it. Like with my 128, I don't think about that.
I can totally see you doing that too. Like
it gives me I start to
wouldn't-
panic like, holy god, like
Well, all you would have to do is just upload it in original content to Google Photos.
no, I
and then
get
it's
that.
gone.
Like, and I have mine set to automatically do that, but like it would just
like
at that moment, like what happens if I'm filming like
it gives me
like,
the
what happens
shakes.
if I have a whole bunch of B-roll that I want to film with, and I'm doing like camera comparisons between shots and phones.
And
Like
that's
that
absolutely-
would give me like
That's
super
totally a
bad
difference.
anxiety.
That's totally a difference between us too, because I don't really run. I mean, I take pictures when I need to. The most pictures I ever took was with Google Glass, and I will say this right now, I miss that. I want that thing back. The most pictures I ever took was with that because it was there. It was easy. It was just a wink away.
I feel like it would be a much stronger argument
really
for
like
that if it had a camera on par with the Pixel 2 XL. That would be like game changing to have the Google Glass platform with that good of a camera. Because the camera was good.
Camera was fine. Like it was okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it's nothing to write home about.
It was 5 megapixel. I think it was the same as the.
I am
It was good for the time.
stupidly
X's.
interested into knowing like what is this Pixel 3 picture
The
gonna
camera,
be like.
yeah.
The camera's gonna get me. Like,
I feel like Google we've probably seen the biggest single jump we're going to see in camera quality with like the existing market up to the Pixel 2 XL, because everything else from there has been just kind of incremental. So
it's a software game.
It's definitely a software game, and I'm sure that Google is going to be able to do amazing things with it, but I just think that the overall quality I don't think is going to be remarkably better than what's out there now.
I don't know how they could. Like
That's my thing. Like, what does better than this look like at that point?
well, see, that's what I mean. Is like, so we were talking about the other day.
Sure.
We were complaining a little bit about the low light shots
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
Pixel 2
They're not good.
XL that we have. So I took some shots, low light, and then we're like, oh, look at this. It's not very good.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's actually not terrible. Look at this. But
Because of software.
because of
Yeah.
software. And so
Yeah.
the thing is like, okay, they're doing all this post-processing after the fact. One, how long did that take?
Sure.
Two, holy God, the photos look way way better. Remember me complaining about Poseidon's staff?
Yeah.
On live show.
It's called a trident.
It's a trident.
Is it a trident?
Yeah, it's a trident.
It's a freaking staff.
No, it's a trident.
Brock, you stabbed me with a trident.
It's a staff. Look,
It's
don't
a
tell me
trident.
what I know, Travis.
Was that in it?
Hey, does it have 3? It was Anchorman.
There we go.
Does it have 3 points? If it has 3
Try.
points, it's a trident.
Don't tell me what I know,
Dent.
Try.
dummy.
Try.
I ain't no dummy. Why is this not rotating? Don't tell me what I know, Travis.
You get.
It's Ben.
You good?
I don't know why it's not rotating.
Oh.
Look how much better that photo came
It
out.
looks a lot better. Yeah.
Like a lot better. But
But
when we
it's-
first took
it's
out the
still-
photo, like if you zoom in, it looks just blurry and yuck.
It's still grainy.
It's
Like,
still
the initial,
grainy, but
the initial
like-
take on the photos was really terrible. And
But they're now less terrible. Not that any of you can see,
yeah, no,
but
you can see that.
I Poseidon's staff. I took a picture of it.
That's a nice
It's a
3-pointed
nice
staff.
three-pointed
you got
staff. Staff.
there. Trident.
Anywho, so you brought up earlier. You brought up last year's Google I/O where they did the what was it called? Not Duo. What's the oh my gosh, I just had the name of it. Where they did the AI calls out to the barbershop and the restaurant to try and do all the scheduling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm assuming you probably saw this earlier in the week. California passed a law preventing where they're specifically outlawing artificial intelligence, robots, what have you, pieces of software from impersonating humans or otherwise representing themselves as human beings. So I'm interested. Have you heard about this?
How what else are they going to be? Are they going to talk in binary?
I think they
I mean,
just
how
have to
are you supposed to
specifically
talk to
say,
somebody?
"I'm the Google Assistant."
Exactly.
Talking to so and so.
And it's
Like
it's
they have to
a-
explicitly say this.
It's a direct shot at. I mean, first of all, I guess I just have to give kudos to California for being surprisingly at the forefront of
A lot of things.
digital rights. Yeah, I mean,
Proactive,
for them passing their own kind of net neutrality bill and then also embracing. How many people were more than freaked out about this Google technology demo where there was AI that accurately mimicked human beings to a beyond creepy sense. I mean, it was like, as a technology person, it was super cool. It was so exciting. And then as soon as you're done with that
Amazing.
tech demo, you go, oh man, that's got some implications to it. Because at no point in time do the people on the other end of that phone call know that they're talking to artificial intelligence. That is a
But on the-
huge philosophical slippery slope.
But I guess the whole thing with that is, I don't care who I'm talking to. If they can get the point across and know what I need to, maybe if there's difficulty, then we can go through. But I'm like, I don't care if I'm talking to a human, an alien, a robot. If they can get the point across and it makes my life easier, if I know that it's a robot, great. I just think putting that stuff out up front, I think will lower people's expectations. Because they're going to know that, and they're going to kind of back off and go, oh, okay, maybe I need to say this a little bit clearer instead of getting to the point where you can just talk normally.
Yeah,
you know what
I see what you're saying. Like they almost reverse rationalize their interaction with it
Exactly.
instead of just treating it as a natural conversation, which is, I think, the point of the tech demo that Google was showing is that we're getting to the point where you can have a natural conversation, and as soon as you basically prime that well, as soon as you prep the person and say, by the way, you're not talking to a real person. You change the dynamic of the conversation.
I'm really interested to know like how that's going to work out with like how many times have we called a contact center and they're like, "Hi, I can help you. I am the so and so blah 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 blah," and then you hear them typing.
Yeah.
All of that's fake. That drives me crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are they going to have to announce that they're a robot? Like I would assume.
Agreed.
I would assume the answer is yes.
Well,
By the way, the changes for something like this are, they should just. California made it. Just make it nationwide, because making it specific to a state versus
harder.
making specific to the U.S. significantly harder.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Blanket it everybody. Call it a day.
Yeah.
It'll save. Trust me, it'll save resources from your own individual company.
Well,
but how do they handle that?
Well, and I have to wonder, like, how does this impact
I also-
like scam callers, like spam callers that call you, where it's like it's very clearly not a real person on the other end. And
Hi, this is an automated message about your credit card rate. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Click done. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those
I
too?
get it.
All the time.
All the time. I read another report that said
I guess-
that by next year, by 2020, upwards of 50%, more than half of the calls you receive on your phone will be automated telemarketers.
I would argue that I'm almost there now.
I guarantee I'm there now.
People
I guarantee it.
The
People
other
call me
the other
and
thing
text me.
the other thing that I'm thinking about is, when before when you called a number, you talk to a
Yeah.
person, right? Now you get all you want to do is just talk to somebody. So all
Yeah.
you do is just press 0 to try to get to an operator. Even if you go through that thing, people aren't going to want to talk to that because it's going to mess up on them once, and then they're just going to give up on it and want to talk to a real person. If you just know what it is and work on it ahead of time, or being able to perfect it before, then you'll be in a so much better position where it does feel like you're talking to a person, but you're getting the technical level of a robot / person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The robotic process automation for like contact centers is just not quite there yet. The Google Assistant,
Right.
the Google Assistant, not Siri, but the Google Assistant is significantly better.
Yeah.
So if they could just basically employ that
Mhm.
and figure out what it is. But there's just so much that goes into robotic process optimization right now. It's like there's two totally different things.
Yeah.
Like, how does Google have that so far ahead of everyone else? And it's almost, I don't want to say it's unlimited,
Yeah.
because you query just anything.
Sure.
But like, you mean to tell me that you can't query the things inside your system for
Can't
IVR?
query the things with the jello.
And I gotta do a thing and with the jello and you put it pops.
Yes.
But you can't get
Going to jail for
put like robotic process optimization and automation.
Yeah.
That's
So
just,
look,
that
think about
just
that.
surprises
Think about
me.
the head start that Google has had on. They've been thinking about the problem of data organization, and there's a lot of like, even when you want to talk about like cutting edge, computer science and study of like the human mind, consciousness, all that kind of stuff. Arguably, the problem comes down to organization, data recall, stuff like that. Like from a bleeding edge perspective, like the Elon Musks of the world that are trying to do the neural lace thing.
Put it on my head.
The brain is just a data processing system. So Google has a massive head start on data processing. Like, how do you intelligently and quickly organize data and then optimize for that retrieval and so on and so forth? That's AI in a nutshell. Yeah, I mean,
AI
they're-
first, man.
they're
AI
they're
first.
effectively, again, obviously we don't have this all-encompassing theory of like how consciousness works. Otherwise, I mean, the world would look and feel radically different right now. But from most like data scientists and the science of consciousness and stuff like that, the aspect that they're taking on it is the human brain does nothing but data processing, and that is exactly what Google is doing. They're basically building
A brain.
elementary brains, digital brains.
I'm building a brain.
Which is-
the brain.
I mean, which makes sense, which is why they have Ray Kurzweil on their staff right now, who is
Really?
Rick Kurzweil.
I didn't
has
know
worked-
that.
Yeah, he's worked for Google for the last several years because of his work with the Singularity, which is a whole other nerdy level of conversation by itself. Hey, we got a couple of people in the comments that are asking questions about the notch. There are people that are not quite sure what the notch is. Does anybody want to summarize what Notchgate is?
It's better. It's better than
I will summarize.
Don't make a big
summarize
thing
the
out of
notch. When you look at the iPhone 10 and the upper part of the screen, so if you're looking up here on the screen, there is a definitive notch. There's a definitive dip from the actual top of the screen into the actual screen. So the aluminium body up here, or the body themselves, or whatever it's made out of, it dips down like this. That is the notch. Now, the problem that everybody has with the Google notch, or the alleged problem, is that the notch cuts down into like half the real estate, and you don't get any of the screen, and blah, blah, blah. Like, the answer is actually
Where's
I
the
was gonna say,
Jello?
and I don't get any Jello pudding pops.
I don't get any Jello to put in
problem
pop
is
with the
it's not
thing.
that big of a deal. First of all, I polled quite a few people at my actual
Very
job.
scientific.
Very scientific
And
poll.
an N of 10.
Yeah,
15.
I would say it was probably 10 or 15 people.
Sure.
And like only one of them cared about the notch. One single person. And almost half of those 14 or 15 people that I talked to, they were like, I just wanted the smaller footprint of the device, but the bigger screen. So I wanted more screen, less physical size, which is exactly
what
the
the notch
purpose.
gives you.
Now,
Yeah.
Granted, choosing a device with no notch, got it.
Yeah.
Look, that's a perfect world. We get it. We're there. Understood.
If I could have a device that had no notch whatsoever, and I could also choose, like, if we're talking about perfect, let's have a device whose battery lasts for a week at a time.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Like, to me, I said it in a video, it is a
No
step
battery.
in a direction of, we'll probably get to a point where we're going to have just screens.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but then even that will have limitations.
Sure, of course.
Like, my question will be, where's the camera?
And that's the problem that, like, the HTCs of the world are trying to address right now. Like, the
In your
the
eyeball.
solution, right? Exactly. The solutions that we've seen so far, like pop-up camera or
It's another
something along those lines.
potential mechanical failure.
Completely agree, but what we don't have is some type of science fiction technology where the camera exists behind the screen. That isn't a thing. So, honestly, until agreed, but until we either perfect the idea of like the pop-out camera, or we make the lenses so microscopic that you could hide it, who knows, in like the
speaker.
bezel or something.
Maybe in the speaker.
in the speaker, whatever. We're probably looking at a notch for a while.
And to
be
me,
honest.
it's like, it's again kind of a non-issue. There's tons of tweets about it where somebody
Yeah.
goes, I looked at it for like 30 seconds, I cared, and then like I was over it. It's because we're not to the point where we have figured out like what does a full screen look like. And everybody's like, well, just give it a chin or a forehead. Well, then you would complain about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because people complain about the size of the chin and the forehead on the Pixel 2 XL.
And it's not bad at all.
Not really that
It's
bad.
a legit non-issue.
Well, what the iPhone does is the iPhone 10 at the bottom, the screen goes across and then it folds underneath, and that's where it connects. It's on a plug here. So the screen comes up, folds up around. That's why on the bottom you don't have, it's almost bezel-less. And if you could do that same thing on the top,
right?
You just got to figure out where to put the rest of it. But it's out there, but there's a premium for it because now you got Samsung with their bendable displays, Lenovo with their bendable displays. That stuff's coming, and that's not necessarily going to be a phone that's going to fold. It's going to be able to make screens get closer to bezels and be able to make them.
That still gets to my problem is like there's proximity sensors. Like when you put the phone up to your face, the phone goes dark. There's a proximity sensor there that basically tells it to do that. So you have that, then you have what I think is very important.
Do you have to have a proximity sensor?
Maybe you don't, and that's a
You
good
don't.
question.
I mean, obviously you don't, but it's...
But it serves a purpose, so maybe there's a
and
reason
some of that
why.
is battery saver.
Sure.
Like, if you're talking about how they optimize battery, proximity like being intelligent about when the screen is on is an important part of optimizing for the battery, because battery technology has improved, but not by a crazy amount to where you could continue to drive up the resolution and the size of these screens and then still have all-day battery life or multi-day battery life. So
to me,
something's got to give.
To me, it's the sensors, the camera, and the speaker.
Well, and
that's got to go somewhere.
Mr. Eroot even says, yeah, give me a better camera. And I feel like that's probably the majority response. Like, if you went out and actually did a real, like, on-the-streets comparison, and even if you went, like, full scientific method, you pulled across the world, the U.S., whatever, if you did the polling, I have a feeling the majority of people would probably say camera and battery are significantly more important than something like a notch.
Camera, battery, space, RAM. Well, camera,
Yeah,
battery,
I think RAM
screen.
would score.
Camera, battery, screen, space, and then the kind of the aesthetics.
I think aesthetics would end
the
up...
fingerprint sensor is pretty important.
I think aesthetics would end up ranking higher than screen or storage. Because I think, again, your average person probably doesn't, keep tabs on how much space they're using.
Well, yes, but we had a comment that basically talked about how the iPhone 10 was a fashion statement, right?
I know.
So real quick on that. So I think a lot of the thing with this camera is coming up is before when people had cameras, they had those big bulky cameras. So you had a very few number of photographers that were out there because they had to drag all this stuff, they had to develop it and do all that stuff, right? Now, it seems like nowadays it's been out there that look, you can take really good pictures with whatever you have in your pocket. That's the best camera that you have, is the one in your pocket. So it's just getting up to it's just in that same aspect that automatically creates more photographers. So that's where I can see a lot of this camera tech being pushed by people like that. Like me, I'm not a big camera person. I look at it and I'm like, yeah looks good. I'm not a camera person. I'm not a picture person. I can tell a difference between like my G6 and my wife's Pixel 2. Hands down, I can tell the difference. But when it starts to get into that high tech of 10 versus P20 Pro versus all this stuff, it's so it's so minuscule.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It's so
hang on
minuscule.
there. Hang on.
It is so
Hang on. The P20 Pro. Oh, bro.
P20 Pro takes great pictures.
It's so.
It's not minuscule.
It's good.
It's not minuscule, bro. You know I love you. I love you. Big hearts.
No.
But the P20 Pro is not minuscule when it comes to taking photos.
Well, I would give you under certain
Are you
conditions.
talking different conditions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in the same conditions, but exactly that's the point. If you're taking the same whatever picture, whatever camera you have is the best. So with ideal conditions, there's very minuscule difference between those.
Yeah.
So very different. They're so very small. So I think a lot of why you see the cameras being pushed. I mean, the stuff now. All you have to do is just go grab a Nexus 1 or a Nexus S. Take pictures with that and go, okay, this camera isn't so bad. But when you're looking at, like when Scott's going through or when you're going through reviews of comparing one photo to the next, there's a huge difference. And now the differences are a lot less. I won't say minuscule because you're correct. They're a lot smaller. When it comes to the situation. So look at the place where we've come, and it's the same thing with the tech with the phones. There's so much, we've come such a big way that everything now is so minuscule. They're trying to figure out ways to do these things. They have the crazy phones with the lifting screen where you don't have the lifting cameras and the mechanical things because they're trying to be like, all right, what's going to be the next thing that's going to stand out?
And I feel like a lot of it is like a min-maxing problem where you're never going to have one camera that is just the penultimate best at everything. Like you're going to have a camera that is upgraded features compared to previous generations, but something like a camera, you don't have one camera with one lens that is just perfect at shooting all things. So, and that's kind of Scott and I talk about like this concept of peak smartphone where we've seen the biggest leaps that we're going to see in smartphones, and everything from here on out is going to be minor improvements or specialization in a certain area versus another area. And so, for example, the Red Hydrogen 1, where if that's technically a smartphone, delayed again, first of all, if that's technically a smartphone, but Red decides to emphasize the picture-taking capabilities, to me that seems like an intelligent trade-off. Where and mind you, that's me correcting my previous position. I was like, this is so dumb. Like, why would you do this? But if you're somebody who cares that much about pictures and you've got like a great picture taking engine inside the Hydrogen 1, but you don't really care about the phone itself, you just need something that you could use as a phone, that's a perfect platform for you. But that's something that is maximized for picture taking. And to the conversation we had earlier about the Pixel 3 camera, how much better can it really get? Because the Note 9 is it better than the Pixel 2 XL? Sure.
No.
I think there's
the low lights. The low lights are better.
There are aspects. There are times that
portraits. No way. I don't see how the Pixel 2 has somehow completely changed the game of portraits.
But software.
That's what I mean. It's a software.
That's what makes it such a hard comparison. Yeah.
It's huge.
All right, Ben. We've kept you for more than an hour.
Yeah.
I want to give the floor to you for the next 30 seconds. Pimp whatever you want, within reason.
So, oh darn it, because I was about to do Big Body Cadillac. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday
to you. Pimp myself. I'm not really a pimp myself type of person, but you can check. I'm sure my socials are down in the description of the YouTube video if you want to check it out. It's just going to be Twitter's mainly where I hang out, and I've been really hitting up Reddit lately too. So come and check that out. It's another place to hang out. But yeah, if you ever need, reach out. If you ever need help, there's always people around to help you out. And these guys are amazing at what they do, and so I just try to do whatever I can to help support them and support their channel and try and make it the best they can. And
we're terrible.
So
we're awful.
No. I'm talking. No. I'm talking about you.
Well,
son. You guys are amazing. You've come such an incredible way, and the only way you guys can go is up. So just keep going, and we'll be there. I'm going to be there during the journey to help support you guys.
Appreciate you, fam.
You are way too kind, sir.
Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, you're too good to us. We appreciate you. We love you very much. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
love you guys.
Transition back over to our main scene. Ben, as always,
it's been real,
you're
man. We appreciate it.
We love you. And then we're going to wrap the show. Yeah, buddy. We'll see you there. We're going to wrap to the show.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You got anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well,
hey, it's my birthday.
There you go. Well, we kept everyone else for long enough. I mean, we could probably dive off into the nerdy wilderness about some random stuff. But yeah, I think let's just wrap it up from here. Let's give these people some of their time back. Thank you all so much for stopping by to check out the live show. We appreciate every last one of you. Each one of your eyeballs just means
right on the screen. Eyeballs right on the screen. Get closer. Get closer. Come closer.
It's the greatest.
It's
we love
you.
All. That's
Did you really just say the greatest love of all?
I mean,
a Whitney Houston song, one of her greatest hits ever.
I didn't.
You very clearly did.
I didn't.
What's the song from Lion King? Ah! No, not that one.
I don't. I still don't know.
Can you feel?
Oh, the Elton John
the
jam.
love tonight?
Nope, nobody can.
Tonight, it is where we are. Look, I got a great falsetto.
Yeah,
I really do. I got some pipes on that guy. Pipes on the big body.
Has been the Technically Speaking live show experience. I mean, I guess we would label it as an experience. Thank you all so much for stopping by. That's going to do it for us for this week. What else you got?
I will be doing live stuff Monday and Tuesday for the Made by Google event. Check out the channel. Tons of content coming out, I hope. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to go live, and there's going to be content about the devices, whatever's released. I am going to attempt to measure the notch and show all of the people that think the notch is a big deal.
For once and for all, that the notch is not big.
A big deal.
It's not a huge notch.
Pause.
Also this.
I will try to do everything I can, but check the channel out.
Yep. We'll be tweeting. Don't worry. You'll see. Check us out on the social medias. Why don't you hit the people with your social medias there, Scott?
Scott Peachy on the tweet machine. At Big Body Cadillac.
The one and only. You can find me
Instagram.
on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at Ominous Hominid. You can find the channel's Instagram at The Tech Speaks.
You can find the channel at thetechspeaks.com.
You can indeed. We actually have a new URL that we rolled out a couple weeks ago.
Somehow.
Yeah. TheTechSpeaks.com is our new webpage. I mean, don't get too excited. It's basically just a front end for all of our YouTube content. But definitely check us out. That is just kind of an easy gateway to all things related to the channel and the things that we do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us for this week. Thank you all so much for stopping by.
You are the greatest.
You are all the greatest. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Thursday, 8 p.m. Same bad time.
Yeah, I will have been back from the Made by Google event. I believe next week we have our friends from Can You Handlebar.
That is correct. I believe that is also correct. We're still working on confirming with them. We're like 99% of the way there, but yeah.
I am really excited about that.
Super excited to talk to these guys. It is the most like random for us. It's the most kind of random outreach that we've had from the community so far. Super cool guys. Super cool guys. Really excited to talk to them to see what they have to say. That's going to be a they're technology related. We're probably not going to get deep into technology, but I still
a lot about beards.
A lot about beards and a lot about just kind of interesting, like the journey that people go on through life. Because this is the CEO of the company. He's started on one end of the world and ended up on another as far as careers go. So super cool guy. I do hope that you come back to check that out. It's a great company. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel the love? All right, guys. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week. Peace.